for Mustang Weekly Update number 17 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mustang? Well, I actually learned something new about it this week. So, in the past couple, I guess I'd say a week or two, I've noticed that the car hasn't been boosting as high as it normally does. So, you know, going full throttle in various situations at various RPMs, it wasn't making quite as much boost as normal. And I thought it was kind of weird. I mean, I was looking at the boost gauge thinking, this doesn't feel quite as fast, but it might just be because I was looking at the boost gauge and it was a smaller number than it normally is. But I was like, I wonder if, you know, because of the cold temperatures, something constricted and I had some kind of boost leak somewhere or something. But thanks to a friend of mine that's very knowledgeable in Fords, he informed me of a feature this car has within the ECU. And that is an intake air compensation table. So basically, you know, whenever the air is colder, it's denser. And with denser air, you can make more power with less boost, basically. So this car has this smart thing where it sees that the air going into the intake is, you know, 10 degrees or whatever. It's super cold. And so you can make the same 310 horsepower with less than full boost that this car can be set up to do. So that's what the car is doing, is it's dialing back that boost. It also does that so that whenever you are boosting, it doesn't overboost, because, you know, if it's running the full 18 or 20 psi that it normally does, but you're running that with much cooler temperatures, you're actually probably making, you know, well over 20 pounds of boost, which is, you know, a little bit sketchy because, you know, Ford obviously doesn't want to have people's engines blowing up. So it's a very ingenious thing, and I never knew it existed, and so I definitely wanted to tell all you guys, fellow EcoBoost owners and whatnot, about that. And I don't know if there's other turbo cars that do that as well, but this is the first time I've ever encountered it. So I want to pass that little bit of nugget of knowledge on to all you guys. So if your car seems to be boosting a little less in the wintertime, that may be why. And so I'm glad, though, I didn't want to have to take this car in, you know, to the dealership and have them troubleshoot it or anything, so I'm glad everything's good. And it was a little bit warmer yesterday, and I did see the boost has returned to its normal levels. Now it's gotten cold again, but so, you know, I'm hoping, though, speaking of the weather, it looks like we'll hopefully be steadily in the upper 30s here in the next week or two. So I'm hoping that, you know, winter is almost over, but it looks like it's going to be tons of precipitation still, even if it's just rain, which makes it very hard for me to film car reviews. It's been a struggle this winter, I gotta say. And so I'm not sure if I'll be able to film any reviews over the next week or two. I may be able to do a couple new quick drive videos, since I don't have to really be outside for those, and those, you know, that's the main reason why I can't do a review if it's pouring down raining or snowing or it's, you know, 0 degrees outside. So might just be some quick drive videos here for the next few weeks. But you guys really seem to enjoy the WRX one, so thank you for all your great feedback on that. And I really appreciate it as always. And another thing is, you know, real quickly before I head to the news, is that I haven't done a live stream in a while, and it's been a few months, and so I want to do another live stream soon. I don't know how soon. It may be as soon as this upcoming week. I'm not totally sure yet, but definitely be sure to follow me on social media stuff. That's where I'll post up about it. So either on the SuperX Fan Facebook page, Twitter page, or EcoBoost Fan on Instagram. I'll be able to notify people through all those various outlets, so be sure to follow me on there, and that way you won't miss it whenever I do decide to do the live stream. I still have to figure out the webcam thing too, because it's always been very low quality video, and I want to improve that. So I'll see if I can get that worked out and then do the live stream. But yeah, that's it for all the updates, guys. So I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news, lots to get through, so we'll try and go quick here. So first thing is, there's been lots of new supercars released this week, officially. And the first is the Aston Martin Vulcan, which is the new hypercar that's track only. It's not going to be street legal, but it officially was shown off this week in preparation for the Geneva Motor Show coming out here in a week or so. Everyone's just unloading all the goods right now. So Aston Martin debuted the Vulcan. Looks amazing in this green color. It has a 7-liter V12, so it's the standard 5.9-liter V12 bored out to 7 liters. And they're saying this thing makes in excess of 800 horsepower, which is pretty insane. And it's going to be pretty awesome. They're only making 24 of them, though. And I heard the price tag being thrown around is close to $2 million or so. So obviously very exclusive. Another thing is Audi revealed the new R8 and R8 Plus. So they're going to be 2 different trim levels for the R8. They're both going to be V10 engines, but the first one It's going to have, they're both 5.2 liters, by the way, too. But the first one's only going to have 540 horsepower only. And it's also going to have 398 pounds-feet of torque. And then, you know, they're going to have a faster V10 Plus that's going to have 610 horsepower, which is so basically the same motor out of the Lamborghini Huracan. And 413 pounds-feet of torque. So, I mean, both these cars do 0 to 60. The slower one is 3.5 seconds. The quicker one's 3.2. They all do over 200 miles an hour. Very impressive. And they're both going to sound glorious, I'm sure. As far as the looks, I mean, you know, the Audi has always been the more conservative car of the two. You know, between that and the Gallardo and now the Huracan. But still, you know, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really do much for me. It's definitely an evolutionary design change. It's totally all new, even though it could totally just look like a facelift. It is totally all new, and so yeah, it's based on the Huracan now instead of the Gallardo. But yeah, so there's that. And in some other new supercars that look a whole lot like the previous versions, McLaren released the 675 LT, which was the long tail, which got a lot of people like myself excited, thinking about the long tails of past from McLaren that are extremely long, you know, and they're like 2 feet longer than the standard car. That's not the case with the 675 LT. It has like an extra 2 inches added onto the front lip, which is more aggressive, and then the rear spoiler is like 1.5 inches longer. So it's elongated by 3 inches at the most or so. Not very dramatic, not as much as everyone was expecting and hoping for. This thing's going to be stupid fast, though. I mean, stupid fast. The weight, the dry weight of this thing puts it roughly the same weight as a BRZ. Yet this thing has 666 horsepower and 516 pounds-feet of torque. So, you can imagine the handling dynamics is going to be insane, the power, and I mean the speed is going to be just ridiculous. So, same 3.8 liter V8. Yeah, it's going to be very impressive though. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. They're saying 2.9 seconds, 205 mile per hour top speed. That is going to be a seriously fast car. That's really going to be impressive. So, hats off to McLaren on that. Lamborghini also teased the SV that we've already seen. So we already seen it from every angle from the commercial shoot that they did that was a few weeks ago. So they teased it with this reactive. They say it's the most reactive car. It's going to be at Geneva this year. And obviously it's going to be an amazing performer. And excited to see the official pictures from Lamborghini. And something other Lamborghini related, Mansory, which is a tuner company, this isn't an OEM, but a tuner company, they just gave the Huracan their treatment. And the Mansory treatment makes the Huracan have 838 horsepower and also has a very sweet body kit. Some of these aftermarket companies, they kind of are hit or miss. This is an absolute home run in my opinion. That front chin splitter and that rear spoiler and the diffuser, everything looks really awesome. I think if I had a Huracan, I'd probably do this kit. It looks really good. And it's definitely, obviously, insane performance-wise as well. And they're saying it'll do 2.9 seconds 0 to 60s thanks to the extra power. 575 pounds-feet of torque, by the way, to accompany that 838 horsepower. And, yeah, very impressive tuner car. So no pricing yet, I don't think, as far as how much extra it's going to cost on top of a normal Huracan. But, you know, the old saying, if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome, though. And then some more very expensive stuff that most of us will probably never be able to afford. The Pagani Huayra, there's been some news this week about that. And this is an Autoblog exclusive story. They just said that essentially this is confirmed from Pagani. Well, they have a new factory that they're going to be opening up this summer. And the Huayra, they are almost done with their production of the Huayra. So they said they would do 100 of them, and they're on number 71 right now. All of them, all 100 are already sold out, so no chance of ordering one if you wanted to at this point. But the good thing is they're going to be, after they do this 100 of Huayras, they're going to do a Roadster, which is confirmed to be coming in 2016. And we're not going to see anything at Geneva. Pagani said that this car, the Roadster, will not be ready until next Geneva, which is a year from now. So hang tight for that. But in the meantime, I don't know where all these Huayras are at because they're still extremely rare anywhere. I don't even see any of the car spotters really doing any videos of them. So they all must be hiding away somewhere. But hopefully this summer, all these beautiful Huayras will come out and we can behold them all in all their glory. The other car that got leaked out, like the Audi R8, was the Mercedes AMG GT3. So it's the AMG GT that is, you know, in race form, and man, does that thing look sweet. I mean, it actually doesn't look a whole lot like the production version. Obviously, this is only race version. This is not street legal, but man, is that a sweet looking thing. No specs yet on it, but man, it looks good, so that's awesome. Another car that was leaked, but this one was actually intentional, and that is if you were watching the Oscars this past weekend, then you would have seen the new Cadillac commercial and the new Cadillac commercial actually debuted the front face of the CT6, the new Grand Cadillac. And it looks really cool. It looks awesome. You know, very much the same design language as the other Cadillacs, much longer, of course. I'm just, you know, my first thought was, it's really good looking, but it's no El Mirage. I don't know why they couldn't give us the El Mirage. Anyway, so yeah. But I mean, this looks good, of course, but when you have such a good car like that, just build it. Anyway, so yes, I won't harp on that any longer, but CT6 looks great. It was just a real quick little brief glimpse as it was emerging out of the mist and the smoke. So hopefully we'll see some more pictures of it and see this gorgeous interior that I'm sure it's going to have very soon. But in the meantime, you have a shot of the front there. And in some other CT6 news, the Cadillac CEO, he's been talking a little bit about the CT6, and he said it's going to have all kinds of engines, ranging from the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, which I'm assuming would be assisted with a hybrid electric power plant, because I don't think that a 2-liter turbo would be enough to propel the enormous CT6, but they also said on the other range of the spectrum, they're also going to do a twin-turbo V8, which could possibly be for a V version. I'm hoping that would be sick, but, you know, I don't know what, but anyway, I mean, a twin-turbo V8 is going to be amazing no matter what. It'll compete with, you know, they want to compete with the high-end Mercedes S550s and all that kind of stuff. So awesome to see that, and cannot wait to see more of the CT6. Another car that we were teased in previous weeks, we now have a full thing, everything was leaked, and that is Land Rover officially put out all the new pictures of the new Range Rover Evoque that's going to be updated for 2016 here, and it's a mild refresh, again, just slightly different headlights and front bumper and stuff like that, and it has kind of an SVR kind of treatment with those huge air dams in the front. It looks spectacular. I didn't think the Evoque even needed updating. To me, it was so futuristic looking, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, that even now it still looks modern, which is quite a design feat, by the way, but that is awesome. You know, it looks great with this new refresh. It also has a new, more dynamic infotainment system with pinch and swipe to zoom and all that kind of stuff. Another crossover SUV that was officially unveiled before Geneva is Mitsubishi's new crossover that is called the XR PHEV2. So this is the second version. They had a previous version. This one's a little closer to production, and I mean, it looks good. I mean, it actually kind of looks like an Evoque or something. It's very good looking, and hopefully those good looks make it over to production. That would give Mitsubishi a much needed sales boost, I'm sure. And going back to teasers, Koenigsegg continues to drip out little teasing information about the Agera RS and the Regera that's going to be coming, and the RS now we have a little bit more information on. So it seems like it's going to have a different spoiler based on this new teaser image, rear fender vents. They say it's going to be a little more luxurious too. It's not going to be quite as stripped out as the 1-to-1. So that's kind of interesting, because the Agera RS I thought was going to be the stripper version, and the Regera was going to be the more luxurious one. Sounds like the Agera RS is also going to have a nicer interior as well. So yeah, very, very interesting. And there's more speculation that the Regera is also going to have a hybrid powertrain, and that's going to be the thing that really sets the Regera apart from the Agera RS and the R and all that good stuff. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but we'll find out soon enough here in the next few days when Geneva starts up. And some other exciting news was there was a 911 GT3 RS spec sheet that was leaked. So, you know, we already had leaked images of the car someone found in a parking garage very conveniently. But Porsche, there's this document that leaked out saying the car has 500 horsepower, which is only like 25 horsepower over the standard GT3. And the red line has actually been dropped 200 RPM, so now it's only 8,800 instead of the interstellar 9,000 RPM red line of the standard GT3. Which, I mean, it still would be awesome if that that was all that they did, that'd be awesome. But it's also going to have a large weight loss, and that's going to be the big deal with the RSs. Of course, the lighter weight, that's always been the case with the RSs. So exciting to see that. That's going to be one heck of a car. And another Porsche news, though, on the other end of the spectrum, this is something I hadn't heard yet, but apparently this was already speculation for a while now, and that is that Porsche was planning a Tesla fighter, and they still are, and that this one could have 600 horsepower and a 300-mile range. I don't know anything about this. This is the first I've heard of it, but apparently this speculation has been going on for a while. And so yeah, apparently Porsche is doing a Tesla fighter. That could go very well as long as they don't make it look like a Panamera. Then it should be good. But yeah, interesting to see that. And then some other little random bits of news. There were some spy shots. The first is Mercedes was spotted testing the S-Class Cabriolet, which still has a cloth soft top, which kind of boggles my mind considering there's a lot of hardtop convertibles like the BMW convertible, you know, the 4 Series and stuff that are hardtop convertibles. You'd think for a car like the S-Class that they would do a hardtop convertible, but they're doing a soft top. I mean, they're not the only ones. I mean, Bentley still does a cloth soft top as well, and I guess you know, it works for them. You know, the Aston Martin does as well. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool to see that, and looks good from the spy shots that we've seen. And there's been a couple new little cars too that have been teased, and this is also for Geneva. Nissan's previewed what they're calling the Sway hatchback concept, which is going to be replacing the Micra, which we don't get here in the States. So it's going to be a very, very small little hatchback. I mean, something like this could come to America, though, in the future, considering you know, it's all the rage these days to have these smaller cars. So I'm not sure, but looks good from this little teaser shot, and very cool to see that. Another thing is Volkswagen has released a sketch of a car they're going to be showing at Geneva, which is this coupe that it looks like a coupe, but it's probably a 4-door coupe. It looks awesome though, either way. Really like the way that looks, and let's hope that they make something that looks that good and actually reaches production. Also, Bentley was spied testing the new Bentayga crossover that they're developing, and they're shedding more and more camouflage off of it, so we're getting a better and better picture of what it looks like. It looks good, looks like a Bentley crossover, and yeah, so exciting to see all the specs and details. It's probably going to be a really fast car as well, and yeah, excited to see that interior too. Also, if you watch all the weekly updates, you'll remember me talking about Infiniti and Mercedes working together on a small crossover. And this car has just been spied. It's the Q30, and it's based on the Mercedes-Benz GLA. So it's GLA chassis, same platform, same engine probably, but this will be an Infiniti, which is a very interesting partnership to be making essentially a competitor to the GLA. And it looks good though. From all we can see is really the headlights, still lots of camouflage. But that should be a pretty good looking car, hopefully. Infiniti's been on a hot streak with all their designs, so hoping to see the full version of that soon. And a little interesting thing here real quick, as Consumer Reports, every year they release their brand rankings for what they think are the highest brands, and I don't always put a whole lot of stock in Consumer Reports, but they do have some valuable input that I agree with from time to time. But so what they said was their list here of the top brands, and the first one is Lexus. They're #1, which is no surprise. I've heard, everyone loves Lexus. They're reliable, they have great service, and all that good stuff. Mazda was #2, Toyota was #3, Audi was #4, which was a surprise for me because I've seen quite a few unreliable Audis, but Audi was #4 apparently, Subaru was #5, and so that's cool to see that. And then Porsche was #6, and then Buick was actually #7. So Buick, that's a huge jump for Buick, and shows that General Motors is definitely increasing their quality, and good to see that for Buick, because I really do like the Buick brand and I want them to survive, and hopefully that will help them out here in the States. And then after Buick at #8 was Honda. Kia was #9, which is again another surprise, considering I've heard some mixed stuff about Kia reliability. And #10 was BMW, which again, I've heard some things off and on. But so that's the list, and I think for the most part that's pretty good to go off of. A few brands that took a big tumble were Mercedes-Benz, Acura, and Infiniti. And that's a shock to me, especially Acura and Infiniti. Acura in particular, because I mean that's Honda's, so for that to fall so much is a little iffy. They base these rankings on cars as far as their road tests, and also as far as every facet of the car. So if the infotainment doesn't work well, that knocks the car down. So they said that was the biggest complaint actually with all these brands, and that's what brought a lot of them down, was the lack of, you know, Bluetooth didn't sync up or something like that, which I mean is a thing that's important, I suppose, but we're not talking about actual mechanical reliability. So I don't think, you know, these cars are going to leave you stranded on the side of the road. It's just going to be, the Bluetooth isn't working today or whatever. So we've come a long way from what actually was an issue in a car. I think all these cars are very reliable. It's just the small stuff like that that's not as important. But very interesting to hear that whole list, and let me know what you think about that. And two cars that were discontinued for this year, we just heard about this week, is the Volkswagen EOS, which is their hardtop convertible that they did based on the Golf and whatnot. That is being discontinued after May, and that is it. And those weren't really hot sellers for a while now, so there's no surprise there. Also, the Nissan Xterra is being discontinued for this year, so there's no plans to do any more of them. And again, a car that was really not selling well for the past few years, so again, no surprise there. So that's some sad news, but in some good news, that is going to make a lot of you happy to go out on a bang here. Volvo confirmed that they're doing a second run of S60 and V60 Polestars, which are those beautiful bright blue, awesome performing Volvos. They actually, yeah, they are just said, you know, they're so popular, they're doing another run. So for this year, they're going to do they already did 750 examples that they built, and they're going to do another 750 here for the 2016 model year. So this goes to show, if you support a product, they will make more of them. And here you go, a small little niche automaker like Volvo, they're doing another limited run of these cars because they're so popular. So whenever you see a car you like, go out and buy it. That way, you know, that will encourage them to make more. It's awesome to see that. And so that's some great news. I'm very excited. I really want to drive one of those new Volvos. They look amazing. So yeah, that's it for all the news this week, guys. So send it back to me in the car. Alright, so I'll leave you guys with a nice little acceleration here that'll be short because there's a dump truck up ahead. But here we go. Wheel spin. Lots of wheel spin. Yep, and that's all I can do because this construction vehicle is going 15 miles an hour. Wow, what a buzzkill that was. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care.